Alright, let the motor dry about an hour or so, and I just took a razor blade here to these fins and cleaned up that paint while it's still kind of wet, kind of soft. It's not wet anymore. It's hard, nice and glossy. I was looking at this flywheel, and just from first inspection it looks almost identical to the other one. It's got some things here on it, and of course these are timing signal units. I'll have to inspect it more. Anyway, this other side I took a file to, and I scraped these all with a razor blade. Took a file to them. Now they look really nice. And up here on the top I took just a little sandpaper to these. There's one you can see I didn't do, but they're going to clean up nice. I don't think I'm gonna have to pull these valve covers. I really don't want to. I didn't see any sign of oil leaks, and if the cam chains are good, I think it'll all be good. But anyway, I'm really pleased with it. This motor paint turned out. It's real glossy, and it's already dry. So, and the fins cleaned up nice. So anyway, got a little bit more work on this thing, and I think it'll be good enough. Had quite a bit of zoom on it before. I don't know what was happening, but there it is without so much zoom. Looks pretty good. I've got the motorcycle sitting over there the way I drove it in, but I don't want to take this motor all the way around to the front. So I think I'm just going to continue with my boards here and make me a little path and straighten up those boards, turn the bike around so I can run a big floor jack in from this side, and I'll kind of hook this up where it's a little easier to put a motor in something. Alright, well, here we have a serious solution to how to move that big ass motor. This car jack, it's probably about 8 inches big. It's been sitting in my buddy's backyard for quite a while. Heavy as hell. The wheels and stuff were kind of buried in the mud. I just got WD-40 here. I'm just getting everything good and oily. This jack handle too, it turns in there somehow. But I can probably get this low enough to get it over here by the motor, and it's already up about this high, the motor almost, and that jack will go down some more. So, and then I can probably hook it on that big surface pretty easily. So, and then I'll turn the motorcycle around and fix the boards there so I can go straight in with the jack, and I don't think I'll have any trouble putting it in. And this WD-40 is great for shit like that. Just spray it in there, and tomorrow it'll be a whole new thing. Alright, I got the motorcycle turned around. I took some gas here and cleaned up all this inner frame. I don't think I got any silver paint, but that cross member needs to, or the swing arm thing needs to be painted. All this inside of the frame and the kickstand, I washed it good with gas here and then sprayed it with carburetor cleaner, so I should have took off any of the rest of the grease. I think I got enough frame paint left to do this, and then that way that stuff will be drying while I figure out how to get this motor in this thing. I got that all cleaned up, painted. I'm almost out of that roll bar paint. Obviously I'm going to need another can because I got to do all this stuff up here in the back. But that finished my paint here pretty much. But this is a part you can never clean because the motor and stuff's in it, but it looks pretty good. And so I'll go to the store. I got to get some more paint and stuff, get some aluminum paint for that thing. Kind of a waste of time to try to do all this, clean it up, and then leave an ugly piece down in the middle of it. Here's kind of my setup. Got to turn the motor around so it goes straight back in. I've got the jack there where it'll pretty much roll in. I got some problems with my boards there, but I think I can overcome that pretty easily. I've got to take off this manifold here. It's got a broken bolt in it, and replace it with another one. And I got to put the V-boost system on it and figure out what's going on with all of this. Clean these valve covers. And I also want to check the valve since I've got it apart. So before I go trying to get it over there on that jack, I'm gonna do everything here while it's kind of on a good solid location, and then I'll see what I can do about getting it on the jack. Little manifold come off real good. You can see the broken pieces on it there. These strange little nuts, they have a hex on one end and just a little bit of threads on the other. Probably so it doesn't take the stud out or something. I don't know why, but anyway, I bought 2 new ones of these. I got them somewhere. I have no idea. I did a pretty thorough look. I've got another Suzuki Madura. I got a bunch of parts for, and I just got everything kind of piled up, and I'm not the most well organized dude, so I can't find my manifolds. I've got them somewhere, and I'm going to go ahead and put my V-boost on the motor here, and just continue to look for the manifolds. I'll find them eventually. Now here's a rear valve cover. Chain looks plenty good. I don't see any wear at all on these valves. Nothing looks bad at all here, but I'm gonna go ahead and get me a wrench here, turn it over and check all these valve clearances, and then I gotta clean up this valve cover and paint it while I'm doing that. I'll probably take them both off and paint them. I don't know if I got enough paint to do that or not. Who knows? Anyway, I gotta check the valve cover. I mean the valve clearance and see what it is. And clean up, put it back together. There's a tin. 10 will go, but not very easily. Looks like this one's 10 and that one's 9.5. This one here I thought was about 10. It was pretty loose on 9. Let me check the book real quick. I'm pretty sure that that's good for exhaust. Yep, book says 10 to 12, so 10's going in pretty tight. So it means all these exhausts are nice and tight, and I've got a, looks like an intake here. I'll check it. Intake's supposed to be 4 to 6. Here's a 6. Won't go in here. Maybe goes in here. That might be 7 thousandths. So that one's probably maybe 1 thousandths too loose. Now let's check this other intake here. A little more one-handed turning. Anyway, I'll just put this camera down. Alright. Try my 7. 7 won't go in that. 6 won't go. 6 does go on this one. Not that one. So that's 5 and 6. And intake's 4 to 6. So I'm in good shape there. So it looks like everything is good here on the camshaft side. One of them might be 1 thousandth out. Might hear a little tick out of it, but I don't think that's really gonna have much of anything to do with anything. All my rubbers and everything are good in here. No scoring. So I'm sure this is a very good motor. Well, I cleaned up good. I'm gonna just use my goop here and do these outside edges and put this cover back on. Paint was alright. Yeah, I took this cover off. Everything looks just as good. No rust or anything like that. I'm checking my valves. Looks like my exhaust is on the base circle. Let's check these. So let's try my, what is this? 9 thousandths. It goes, supposed to be between 10 and 12, so that's good enough. It's a nice tight, so it's probably good 10 thousandths. I'll check this other one here, rotate it around, get it on the base circle. It feels like it's got pretty good compression. There we go. And try our 9. Yep, going in, going in. It's kind of a loose 9, so that's about 10 thousandths. So the exhausts are good. Intake's supposed to be 4 to 6. Here's a 6. It's not fitting. Goes in that one. It almost goes in this one. So, see that one there's 5. And that's good. And rotate it over here. I don't know if this is right to check them on the base circle, but knowing motors, that's the smallest place of the cam. 6 won't go in there, won't go in there, just almost. So those are probably 5s. Let me check a 5 here. Alright, so 5 is going in it nice. That's fine. Got some kind of a Something happening here with this cam. It's just paint or something. Since this thing hasn't been run, I'm going to squirt this with a little bit of white lithium grease. I should have done that on the other one, just to make sure that this cam's got good oil and stuff on it when it turns over before the oil pressure gets to it. So anyway, those are both 5 on the intake, and it calls from 4 to 6, so everything's all perfect here. I got one of them that might be a thousandth out. Well, back to the nasty work. I've got a 180 grit paper on this DA, which is pretty aggressive, and I'm just going to clean up the top of this and we'll stick it back on. Yeah, it works pretty good. Yeah, I'm just I got some 180 here so I can put pressure on it on my hand, sticky sided stuff, and so I'll just work on this and try to clean it up the best I can. Now, a whole hell of a lot of sanding later. This one looks pretty good. Paint and all that swift. Need to wipe it down with something. Not as shiny as I would like it. We'll see what I can do about it. Well, here we got the motor strapped onto that big jack, and I got a friend here. We're gonna just push it into this hole, and I'm gonna just call it quits for right now. Well, I got this with my buddy's help over here. At least we got it off of the pallet on the jack, and mostly under the general area of the motorcycle. I never did finish this thing here. I need to glue it to seal the ends and put that all together, but it looks like it's about 4 inches high here to clear that. Looks like it's a couple inches, maybe 1 inch low in the back, so I think this thing's gonna have to, it fell out by twisting to the right, so I think that's what I got to do, is twist it to the right somehow. But this jack is basically way too big to get under here and maneuver. It won't go down much further. I can get it down a couple inches, so even though it seemed like a good idea at the time, it looks like a little jack's what I need. I just got to get it over here where I can strap it up to the frame and kind of hold it. I think what I'm going to do is just block the motor up where it's at right now, take this big jack out, and figure out some way of hooking it onto that little crummy jack I got. Yeah, I got that big jack out. I don't know if that the other one's gonna be any better. It looks like it's probably 3 inches high, but anyway, I know I need to do some of the stuff like take off that manifold and some of the other stuff that was I took off of the first motor to get it out, and I think these exhaust studs here got to come out. I don't remember. Anyway, I got it blocked up here, and I'll try to slowly move it around until I can get it under there and get some straps across the frame. and just keep on seeing if I can get this thing in. Probably just ought to throw a couple of these bolt cover screws in here while I got it this far. I'll do that, and then I'll clean the nuts and stuff later. Got the big one out. Not going to do me much good. I got the little one in it. Not in the center of the case. I can get it off to the side. It's down all the way. I could probably jack it up maybe an inch. So I can lower it that 1 inch. I'm going to try to do that and see if I can get this motor rotated a little. I'm almost at the motor mount here, 2 inches low. Looks like my drive shaft and stuff is over the frame there. So I kind of got to twist it. The problem is going to be this frame section here. I don't remember whether I had it lifted real high to get past this frame. I think I did. I'm not sure. I know that exhaust, or the universal joint, was one of the first things, or one of the very last things that came loose. So I'm just going to try to tilt it around and twist it as much as I can and try to get it a little more center into the frame so I can put some straps on it. I'm going to play around with it here and see what I can do. I read a book here. It wasn't much help. So with an assistant, raise it and put it in the frame, and be careful of your fingers. And then jack it up, line the U-joint. So if I was muscling this thing in, I'd raise this front up to where to clear this hole here. And kind of slide it around. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is jack the front of this motor up and kind of get it like about a 30-degree angle there, and hopefully the heads will clear this hole right here, and I can drag the frame around and get it over the motor. I'm contacting the universal joint back here. So anyway, if I knew what I was doing, it would be much easier, but it don't. That's what I'm going to try to do, is tilt it up. At some point I'm going to be able to get something around this frame here, a bungee strap, and hold it. Might be a good idea to try to do that right now. I strapped it here in the back. Move my jack around. It's just all sitting here in air right now. It's actually on the jack, it's not in air. Sure wish I had some more paint. I'd clean that and do it. But I'm pretty close to contacting everything here. I'm almost on the case there. but I need about 2 inches raising this thing up, and I think I can get that front past the frame there. Once I can get it past the frame, then I can just slide the motorcycle over. Anyway, a little bit at a time. Try some more hookups here and see if I can't twist that motor a little bit more and get this front into the frame. Here it is, pretty close. Got some room there. Looks like I got part of the transmission, everything kind of below the frame hanging down. It's alright. And it looks like my pin here went into the frame hole. Started to pick up the bike. There we go. Try jacking it just a little more. Yeah, looks like it's going up. And looks like I can get the motor past that frame right there. But it's a two-handed job. I don't want to make any mistakes. I have to pry on it and jack it at the same time. But it looks like at least it'll get past the frame there. And once I can get it past the frame, then I can reroute my strap so it'll exert more effort to pull it over to the left there. I wish I had some more paint. This would be a wonderful time to paint this. I think I got some regular black paint. Maybe I'll just try that, clean that, and squirt this. At least I can do something about it now, and it'll be so hard later. Well, hallelujah, had some primer here that's kind of seals it good, and I had just enough left in that can to squirt a little shiny on it. Yeah, I gotta get another can anyway, but anyway, I got my one little place there that I have to work everything past, and I think I'll be able to swing this motor over and hook up those straps a little better. Main thing, I just want to get it past that frame and then sort of go from there. Alright, I got it clear of the frame. I think if I let this jack down, the motor weight will swing it over. I hate these jacks. I've got vice grips on it here, and it's not the... Well, it let it down. No swinging over. Looks like I got to take a little slack out of my cable here. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. I just moved it by pulling on the strap here. I'm well past the frame now. And if I let it down, it should swing the motor. Yeah, it didn't do anything, but it's hitting something solid. I'm probably into, yeah, it looks like I'm into my brake line hose here. That's alright. Keep it from being scratched. And I've got the case contacting the frame over here a little bit. So looks like I gotta put the jack under the back and pick it up a little bit. So this motor can swing over. Anyway, that's the hard part all done. Now I don't see any troubles of eventually getting this thing in. I just have to go slow and jack and hook and move and jack and hook and move. But must be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I got at least 2 hours to get this thing in. Sorry about all the sniffing. I have this I take this heart medicine and thins the blood or something, I don't know, and then it also makes my nose run. So if you hear me snorting and sniffing, I'm not sick or anything. Well, I don't have a cold, but I apologize for that. I didn't even realize it until I started editing these videos. I'm sniffing constantly. Anyway, I'll fool around with this jack, get it moved over a little, and give you an update. Same setup here, except I moved the jack towards the back of the motor, and back's coming up good. I'm about to hit the frame here, and the motor looks like it wants to swing over. My cable's loose here, or strap, and it's still, oh man, I just about pulled it in with one hand there. Alright, so now it's pretty obvious that I've got the more or less the center of the motor here with this strap, and I need to run the strap around both sides of the frame so it'll tend to pull it straight. I'm kind of clear here. I got to lift the back up quite a bit more still to get that drive shaft in, but I got plenty of room over here to get the main part of the motor moved over to where it's supposed to go in the frame. Alright, it's hung in the frame, and one-handed, you can't really tell, but the motor's plenty loose there, and this is definitely not the situation I had when I took it out. Of course, I was trying to get the drive shaft out. I'm probably crammed in way past it now. Let's see, what do I have? Yeah, I'm back under the cross member. So anyway, looks like the back's got to come forward as much as I can. I got 2 or 3 inches here. I shouldn't have any trouble getting that motor forward. The way the straps are hooked now, the weight wants to pull it towards the back. Don't know exactly what I can do about that, but I think I can jack it up and pry on it gently and stuff and get this motor moved forward so I can get that U-joint in there. Yeah, I'm way back under it. That's probably where the motor goes if it was up in there. It's obvious this front's got to come down a long ways. Not so easy. Looks like I gouged my frame here a little bit. Anyway, so what I got to do is try to get this motor forward. I'll have to figure out some way of doing that. And just keep trying. But it's in, and now I just have to get it forward and twisted and lined up. Okay, I pried it forward. Put a block of wood here to keep it from swinging back. I got the jack under the back of the motor. I'm trying to jack it up. Well, looks like I contacted my frame right here. Strap's a little loose. I ought to hook this better to where it pulls forward on the motor a little more. Maybe I can go to this back motor mount down here. At least I'm not, you know, at a 30-40 degree angle. Well, we'll just see if I can do something like that. Looks like that ought to hold it pretty good. Alright, restrap it and press on.